Okay, everybody, so in this video, we're going to break down if you should be summoning for the new units that are coming out tomorrow, being Marian and Yui. So these are the first two units that we are getting, and it's coming with a lot of other content. As you can see on screen, we're going to be getting the end of Chapter 2, a new roguelike game mode, I think like a bunch of new events, and also updates for some different side missions, city life updates, and a new synergy. Now, as we all know by now, there has been some controversy regarding Marian. Now, what are the two parts? Number one, we actually don't know at the time of me recording this if she is going to have her weapon and also the dupe stone on the Lufol's mission plan, because part 3 and part 4, or plan 3 and 4 on CN did have it where Marian could get her weapon for free, her 5-star weapon, and a dupe. If it is there, I think her value is going to be much higher, obviously, because you could literally get Marian and then dupe her out and also get her weapon. Now, if not, that's going to be a completely different story, and we will check that out live. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, so I hope to see you guys there. We're going to be starting stream what should be 30 minutes before it goes live, so I hope to see you guys there. We'll be summoning with all the jewels I've been actually getting. Now, personally, I am not going to be spending. I just don't see a point, especially with them being a little scummy. I don't feel the need to spend that much or at all, so keep that in mind. And yes, moving into it, Marian, now right now, she's not going into standard yet. However, keep in mind, that does not mean she's not coming at all. For example, her banner is going to end on the 24th. Now, technically, if it lines up with the TW version, she should come out on the 7th to the standard banner. Because of that, I think it is a reasonable expectation to expect her on the 7th. However, the problem then lies that I've been talking about is that I don't mind waiting 2 more weeks as long as you tell me exactly when it's going to be on standard. So we'll have to see. Hopefully we get updated info regarding that. But yes, on the 7th is probably when she'll be added to standard. So that's going to also impact you because Marian will be a standard banner unit in the future. We don't know when, but Yui will be limited, so keep that in mind. Now, let's really get into this, and they are both coming out at the same time. However, Yui lasts a month, so it's like if you're really unsure, well, you're gonna literally have until August, until like mid-August to summon on her, or beginning August. So there's really not much of a worry there. However, Marian is only 2 weeks because she's standard, which is then silly because it's basically them admitting she's standard but not giving her the same treatment. So we'll have to see how exactly that plays out. Not really going to get into it too much in this video, but I just want to make sure everything around that is clear. She's not going to go to standard right away. You will not be able to use your gold tickets right away, and there's a possibility you can't get her weapon. So Marian, is she good? Well, let's talk about it. First, should you summon? I think personally most people at this point in time should still do a pity. Now she is not necessary. We have 2 perfectly good sustain units, being Morgana and being Lufol. Now, are they the best? No, Marian is the best sustain. However, is it a necessity to get her? No, unless you want to get Motoha. If you're trying to get Summer Motoha, which is a new 5-star unit that should come out end of September, well, they are very good in unison because of the fact that Motoha gets extra damage when overhealing, and guess what Marian does? Gives extra damage when overhealing on her own. So just for overhealing with Marian, you can get up to a 60% damage increase on Motoha. So keep that in mind. With Motoha, I would say for people who really like Motoha, it is worth it to go for Marian if you're kind of a low spender-ish. Now, is Marian a necessity no matter what? Personally, I don't think she is a necessity because she will end up on the standard banner. And at this point, shit, I've got 85 gold tickets. By the time she's on standard, I might have close to 130, 140. So I'm honestly kind of not stressing. I'm doing 1 pity and then I'll decide if I continue. Personally, I don't think I will because I don't think she's a necessity. However, does she work very well? Yes. She gives heals on pretty much all of her skills. And her skill 2, and I think also she has something here, right, which is going to be giving nectar, which is going to increase the HP, right, and then you could consume them to then restore more, right, and then also, I mean, did I say healing? Yes, I did. So you're going to be healing a lot. If you want to know if Marian is a valuable pickup, yes, she's going to remain good. However, the thing is, she will end up on standard. Now, it's up to you to decide when she's going to be on standard, because of course, why would the game tell us when? Why would the game tell us when they're supposed to? I digress. So we'll have to see. However, if you go for Marian, I think for free-to-plays, 1 pity. And if you're like a mid to high spender, I honestly think 2 pities is fine. You're going to definitely enjoy yourself. She's a very good unit, especially if you're trying to get Summer Motoha. Personally, I want Marian specifically because she's going to be a good combo with Summer Motoha. This girl is definitely going to be overhealing everyone, and because of that, she's going to give the damage boost, and then Motoha is going to get her own damage boost. Things get a bit tricky if Lufo's business plan actually does not have the copies that we need. What I'm referring to is plan 3 and 4, have Marian, first of all, her dupe, and then her weapon. And her weapon gives a big HP increase, big healing increase, and a damage bonus on top of her other damage bonus. So when you consider that, and the dupe being a defense penetration for all allies when you overheal, so let's just count it up. 30% damage increase, 20% penetration, increased max HP, and heal a shit ton. Oh, she's actually crazy. And then, oh, by the way, the weapon would give more damage increase. So if her weapon and her dupe is there tomorrow, when we're able to check, oh, I think it would only be tomorrow on reset, we'd be able to check. Whenever we're able to check, if the weapon is there and the dupe is there, then I think it is actually fine to summon, and I encourage it, because now you're building up a support that you could get a dupe 1 and weapon for free long term, which is going to be very good, because then, for example, you could put like Leon's weapon on the unfeatured and whatnot. So keep that in mind. I think it is very, very relevant. However, if it's not there, I think skipping or doing not that many pulls is fair. And of course, skipping would be fine for Marian, because when you think about it, she's going to end up on standard banner. And yes, it's not a guaranteed chance, but if it saves you some jewels, you're still going to have that 1 in 6 chance to get her. So I think it could still end up being the best case scenario for people to skip if you get lucky, right? Some people might not have the currency to go for Marian and might not even need her necessarily, but if you end up getting her, then it's a W with gold tickets, but not necessarily something you want to do with platinum tickets. Could definitely be the way to go, which is summoning for gold tickets when she comes out, most likely August 7th. However, she's still gonna be good without her 5-star weapon, but we understand that a free 5-star weapon from Lufo's plan and a free dupe, which the dupe is insanely strong, 20% defense penetration on all allies is insane. So because of that, we understand that there's more value from actually having this available to not. So I'll definitely let you make that choice. However, if you don't do many pulls or any pulls and you don't care for Summer Motoha, you could definitely skip her, right? She's not the end all be all. You're gonna maybe be able to get her later, and you have 2 weeks to decide. So I think taking your time with this is fine. But is she a very valuable pickup? Yes. If she is in Lufo's plan with her dupe and with her weapon, I think she is worth it. However, if she isn't, I think she loses a lot of value, and if you skip, I don't think you don't have to be you don't have to feel bad at all, in my opinion. Now let's go to Yui. Personally, she's a skip. Yui is not horrible, right? She is a follow-up unit. Unfortunately, her ult doesn't actually give her a damage increase. She needs to have the other allies trigger it, right? So keep that in mind. Now, she has 1 ally, which is going to be a guaranteed follow-up, right? So whatever ally gets playmate, well, she will be able to follow up twice. And that's not bad. That's not bad. The problem is the multipliers are decent. But the problem is that besides the 1 ally, you don't want just this 1 turn of 132 every single time, if you think about it, because you used an ult to guarantee, or you use the skill 3 to guarantee, right? You want to be able to get this so that most, if not all, your allies could follow up. However, it's only a 35% chance to trigger follow-up. So because of that, it's not that worth it. The other problem is you're only going to see someone that's really good for electric in terms of like damage dealing being Akihiko much later on. So, and I'm talking about a year down the line. So it's like you're going to be waiting a while for value. However, is she good in bossing? Yes, right now she's incredible. If you're trying to find someone for bossing, it's worth it. However, on this channel, just in general, when we're recommending, usually for these types of guides, it's more so long-term value, and Yui is not going to hold out that long. Will she be good? Yeah, I mean, if you get the RNG, and then you also get the good follow-ups, you get your crits, blah, 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 then you're going to be very, very good, right? She's going to be kind of a mini sub DPS in a way, giving crit rate and attack. So, you know, it's going to be decent. You know, we just have to hope that you just have to hope you get lucky with her follow-ups. So this 35% chance on the other allies. Of course, you're going to have a guarantee on 1 person, but besides that, you know, there is that. This is a one-turn guarantee follow-up, but then the problem lies you have to be very specific with your team building and make sure you're doing attacks that turn, because if you don't do attacks, well, you're not going to get the follow-up with the ult. So keep that in mind. It requires very specific team building to make sure you get these follow-ups. If not, you are kind of fucked over. But is her damage very high? I mean, yeah, for example, like she's going to get the attack increase, follow-up damage increase, and let's say, right, that could be 80% times what, 4 and times 3 in a turn, right? 240% for 2 turns, for example, could be very good. However, this is only 1 turn, so keep that in mind. Very unfortunate. Yeah, for bossing, she's going to be good. However, I think she's mainly a skip, not really that worth it, unfortunately. And if you like her, I think it's fine to go for her because she's not a 0, right? She's just not overall that good, but for bossing in general, especially just like mainly your bosses, right? She is definitely going to be good for now. However, I would say is not worth it just in general, especially when you can't use her that much in your overall general content. I think it's overall wraps for Yui, so I don't think you should summon on Yui. That basically concludes the video. We'll see tomorrow the full info for Marian. She's good, but of course there are drawbacks because we don't know how it's going to be with Luful's business plan anymore, because unfortunately they had to change some stuff, so we'll have to see how that goes. These units overall for the first batch are not bad. I actually really like Yui's animations, and Marian is a very fun unit in my opinion. So hopefully I could get lucky, because right now I have 11,700 divided by 150. I have 120 pulls. So 120 pulls, hopefully I get Marian, but I'm at 0 pity. So I do have to get a little lucky, but we'll hope for the best. So let me know what you're summoning on, if you're summoning on anything at all. Marian is a very good unit, but definitely more so worth it if you're going for Motoha. If you're not going for Motoha, I don't think you should feel pressured to summon for Marian. And Yui, I think overall is a meh unit, but if you like Yui's design, which I have seen some Yui enjoyers, and if you want someone for bossing, then she could be your girl. So I'll leave it there. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.